Hey guys, Hecons here with another World of Warcraft video. I was extremely busy last month and wasn't able to make many videos. I thought I'd work on one this weekend and share a couple of my mailboxes from the past 3 weeks, and talk a little bit about what I've been doing to make gold. On this tune, we've been doing really well with Jewelcrafting. You can see all I'm doing is selling 2 different items, the Panther mounts from Miss Pandaria, as well as crafted 3 tin rings. And the prices of the ore, the monolite ore, storm silver ore, platinum ore is pretty low now, so you can pick up the ore for really cheap, prospect that, and then use the gems and do a bit of shuffling to get the expulsum and craft these 3 tin rings. You can see I'm selling them for between like 1k all the way up to 10k per ring, so they can be quite profitable. And then for the Panther mounts, I'm selling them for around like 40k or 38 after the auction house cut. And they do sell pretty consistently. Maybe I sell like 2 per week. And then I am also selling the Jeweled Onyx Panthers. And I sell, looks like one of those pretty much like every week. Maybe like every 2 weeks, but a little under 700k in the mailbox just from Jewelcrafting. Quite happy about all these sales. I'm gonna go ahead and loot this, and we can go ahead and take a look at another banker. So on this turn, I've been selling a couple of items with engineering and tailoring, as well as feasts. You can see I did sell a couple of feasts, looks like 24 days ago, which is like 3.5 weeks. At 6k. And then I did manage to sell 5 more at around 4.7k. Looks like 2 weeks ago. As far as items with engineering, I did manage to sell a Sky Golem for 60k. Believe you do have to have Miss Pandaria engineering maxed to be able to craft this, but it's definitely worth it. If you get the ore and the bars for cheap, it can be pretty lucrative. If the bars or the ore is too expensive on your own, remember that you can also buy the spirits and motes of harmony and trade those in at the vendor for some ore. You do also need to do 30 days worth of cooldowns, which can turn a lot of people off, but I think it's definitely worth it, especially that 8.2 brought flying. There's going to be a lot of herbalists coming back to the game, unlocking flying and wanting this mount, since you can herb while mounted. So, the demand's definitely there, and I think it's definitely worth crafting and doing the cooldowns, so managed to sell one for 60k. And then I did also sell a bunch of auto hammers on this tune, which is another engineering recipe. This one comes from Legion. I believe at rank 3 you need 15 of the laystone ore. So I've been picking up the laystone ore when it's 5 gold or less per ore. So that puts the crafting cost at around like a little under 50 gold, I would say. Or 75 gold rather. And then I do try and sell the auto hammers for at least 200 gold, so that way I'm at least doubling my gold. You can see the lowest I sold it was stack of 5 for 1266, which is like, I think pretty close to 240 gold, so if my crafting cost is 75 gold or less and I'm selling for 240, easily like doubling my gold. And then, yeah, sold a couple of stacks of 5, stacks of 10 at that 240. And then a couple of days ago, I think this would have been like Tuesday, I saw that there weren't very many listed, so threw mine at, looks like around 1k each. So I did sell 2 stacks of 20 at 18.5k after the auction house cut, which is insane. Crafting something for 75 gold and then selling it for like pretty close to 1k each. And then with tailoring, I've been selling the embroidered deep sea bags. Remember a couple episodes ago, I did end up crafting, I'm gonna say like 30 of these. Would have been 40, but quite a few of these with the title cores I had from running Mythic Plus. And I did sell a bunch more bags this week, or I guess this month rather. Sold 2 at 14.2k. It would have been like 14 days ago, so 2 weeks. And then this past week I managed to sell 3 at 19k after the auction house cut. Did see there were only a couple listed, so I thought those cheap ones might get bought out, and threw mine up at 20k. And oftentimes people are buying in multiples of like 4, because they need 4 for their ult, or like 7 for their bank, and sometimes even as high as 11 if they want to do like an ult plus their bank. So if you see that there's only like, let's say like 2 listed up on auction house, you might want to throw 2 of those up at a much higher price and see if they sell. That's exactly what I did, and managed to get 3 nice sales out of that. I've seen these as low as like 6 or 7k on my realm, so being able to sell 3 at 19k is pretty nice. So 237k on this tune, which is almost 2 tokens. I did also spend like 3.5 mil, I think it was like 2 weeks ago, so definitely good to recover some of that gold back. I am also going to be spending a bunch of gold on Hearthstone packs on Tuesday, so need to set some aside for that. And I think I still need to pick up some Overwatch crates as well. Yeah, I think the event is over on Monday, so try and pick those up on Sunday. But pretty happy about these sales. So we're going to go ahead and switch over to another banker on this realm. So in this banker, I have around 7 pages worth of auctions to go through, as I did save around 348 mil. There was 765k to collect on the first page, which is a nice chunk of gold. And you guys can see I'm down to around a little over 2 million gold, as I did spend between, I think it was like 3 million to 3.5 million a couple of weeks ago to purchase the Hearthstone pre-orders, as well as recap my balance. And then I do also plan on picking up some of the Overwatch loot crates. I think the event's over on Monday, so I'll have to do that either on Sunday or Monday. And then I do also plan on picking up probably like 2 or 3 of the 60-pack bundles for Hearthstone on Tuesday when the new expansion drops. So probably going to need to purchase even more tokens and convert those into balance once I buy those items. But we're off to a pretty good start on page 1. You guys can see I do have some couple of big sales on gems. I've been doing a lot of mass prospecting on my Jewelcrafter. I did send some of the red gems and green gems over to her to make the 370 status. I think I sold, I want to say 3 or 4 at around 100k each, so that's what I've been using to purchase the ore. And then, yeah, I just did, I think I did 7,000 ore worth of mass prospects on Friday. And threw up 35 for each. The Asherine and Sage Agate in stacks of 35. I think the green's a little bit more rare for my sample size anyway, so I ended up selling 1 stack of 35 of the green gems for 118k, and 1 stack of 35 of the red gems at 95k. And then since they sold so fast, I ended up selling, or listing rather, the next auctions at a little bit higher price. I think I threw up the green ones at 140, it looks like. So I got 133 after the auction house cut. And then I think I have the red gems up at, I want to say like 110 or 120. So hopefully those sell. But I'm more than doubling my gold off just the red and green gems, so I can sell the other gems for whatever price, and it doesn't even matter. And that's probably the reason why gem prices are in the dirt on most realms. Most people are just making their profit off of the green and red gems, and then doing pretty much whatever with the other gems. Yeah, they don't have very much use, but the red and green gems are pretty sought after, since you do need... yeah, there's 3 stages for the Jewelcrafting rings, so... first stage you need 35 of each of the gems. The green and red gems anyways. I think it's the item level 410 is stage 1 for this tier. And then stage 2, which requires 40 of the red gems and 40 of the green gems, is item level 425. And then the last stage is item level 440, and you need 45 of the red and green gems. So, as I said, I've been selling mine in stacks of 35, and that actually seems to be working pretty well. Yeah, I was actually really surprised that they sold this fast. So I listed these like Friday night right before I went to sleep, and then did play a bit of Pokemon Go on Saturday, so I threw these up before I left, and when I got home, both stacks of the greens had sold, and I still have 2 stacks of the reds, so hopefully those will sell as well, but I may end up lowering the price after I'm done recording and see why they didn't sell. Usually if I sell a stack of green, I expect to sell a stack of red, since most jewel crafters need both of those. But for whatever reason, I only sold 2 stacks of the green earlier today, so I have to check in on the reds and see what's going on there. As far as other gold making, I have been selling the 400 trinkets still. You can see they came down to around 7k each, but prices rebounded to a little under 10k earlier today. However, I did get my crafting cost down to, I think it's like down to 1.5k, or like definitely under 2k, but yeah, people are still buying, prices are still relatively high, and I'm like at least quadrupling my gold. I guess if I'm selling at like 6k, I'm tripling my gold, but if I can get a sale at like 10k, I'm pretty much quintupling my gold, so definitely worth it still to craft those. I am also selling enchants. Really easy to do the shuffle in 8.2. It's actually the old shuffle, so I guess it's the 8.0 shuffle. I did also get enchanting set up on my challenge realm, and have been doing pretty well with that on the challenge realm, so you guys will see that in the next update for the 1 million gold challenge. Sold a pet, the Twilight Clutch Sister, 9.5k. I think it's pretty popular for the pets that you use for Nazjatar, the world quest, so you can see I have, I think, one up on the auction house, sold one, and I have one in my bags as well. Did also get into Alchemy quite a bit. I think I did have rank 3 of the intellect. Can't remember if I got rank 3 of the strength, but managed to craft some of those, and sold a stack of 20 at 7k, so pretty decent profit. I think the crafting cost of these with the 1.75 proc with Silas's and rank 3 is, I want to say like 150, maybe closer to 100 gold. I think I did the math and I was like doubling my gold on both the intellect and strength battle potions, so Crafted a bunch of those. Still selling the 340 staffs as well. Managed to sell one of those for 6.5k. Which isn't too bad. And then more enchant sales. More trinket sales. Enchants, trinkets. Now you guys can see I'm selling the blacksmithing two-handers for 15k still. 14.3 after the auction house cut. I did sell one of the pole arms for that price. And then up here I did sell one of the deck pounders as well for 14.3k, so. Still doing really well with blacksmithing. As I said, Jewelcrafting is really good if you can get the ore for cheap, and you do need to prospect quite a bit of ore. I think I did prospect, I want to say 7,000 ore. Yeah, I think the first batch was like 3.6 or... I think both of them were actually like around 3.5k ore, so... Around 7k ore worth of prospecting, so... end up with, I think 3 or 4 stacks of each, red and green. But you do need quite a bit of ore, so just keep an eye on it, and if you can pick it up for cheap, definitely worth prospecting. Now, I did also get into crafting a bunch of the war scrolls. Using up some of my old, I think it's called Crimson ink. The red ink that you get from the old 8.0 herbs. You can see my bag's full of those. I just had my second account. Turned those into inks. I think I did like, I want to say 4,000 or 5,000 while I was shuffling on my challenge realm. It was either like Thursday or Friday, so that's why I have so many of the war scrolls, and they are selling for a decent amount. You can see a stack of 10 sold for around 4.7k, and I think you'll see more sales on the next page, so why don't I go ahead and loot this and we'll take a look at page 2. So here's page 2. You can see I did sell more of the superior battle push and a strength on this page. Stacks of 20 for 7k. Pretty decent profit on that. A lot of sales on the 400 trinkets. Looks like they were selling for around 7.5k 4 days ago, which would have been during the week. Really nice prices on the ring enchants. 2.8k for the verses. Only 1.8k for the Naga hide. We did have a bunch of the rank 3 world quests for the weapon enchants this past week. I think it was actually earlier today, and then yesterday and the day before, so 3 back-to-back days of the rank 3s, so I did get all the rank 3s that were out in the last 3 days for my ults, and I did also do it on the challenge realm, so it's going to bring the crafting cost of these weapon enchants down significantly, because it does go down from rank 2 is 3 veiled crystal and rank 3 is 2 veiled crystal, so going to be a lot cheaper to craft. You may also have a bunch more people crafting them for gold making, so that might drive the prices down, but I think on most realms it'll be fine. Cool souls on offhand. Inscription offhand. Etched vessel of the Peerless for 14.2k. Really nice sale on that. More weapon enchants at 1.8k. A lot more trinket sales at around 7.5k, 7.6k. And then more sales on war scrolls. I do still have a bunch of the crimson pigment, so I've been slowly having one of my other accounts turn that into ink, and then turn them into war scrolls. I think I had like I know I had a couple 100,000 of the blue ultramarine inks. I can't remember how many I had of the crimson ink, but had quite a few, so just been shuffling that into the War Scrolls. Pretty useful item for Mythic Plus if you don't have the buffs, so I think a lot of people pushing the hierarchies are buying these up. Did sell a 340 staff, 6.5k for that, not too bad. And then you guys can see I did sell single stacks of the Superior Battle Potion of Strengths at 517 gold each. And yeah, I've been selling the stacks of 20 for 7k, so that's 350 gold per flask, or for potion rather. And yeah, just for posting the single stacks for a little bit more, I'm getting 150 gold more per battle potion, so yeah, it's like 50% more. Make sure you have the match stack size enabled in TSM operations if you're using that list. That way you're always undercutting a stack of 5 with a stack of 5, and a stack of 3 with a stack of 3, and so on. And if the different stack sizes, let's say like one of them is priced higher than the other one, it's always going to match that price. Otherwise, if you don't have that enabled, all of your listings are going to be the same price per unit. Yeah, it's much easier, or not much easier, but much better to have it enabled, so you're making more gold for the different stack sizes. So yeah, a couple more enchant sales, nothing too exciting. 2 trinket sales at about 7.1k, that's pretty low. Yeah, another etched vessel sale at 14.2k. Definitely worth taking a look at on your own, especially if herbs are in the dirt, like on my realm. You can probably make a lot of gold just selling the 370 offhands. Especially if the trinket market's not as good anymore, because you do need the same pigment, same inks to craft the etched vessels. So you can take a look at the etched vessel market if the trinket market isn't as good. Maybe craft a couple of the etched vessels rather than the trinket. Don't think the contracts are that good anymore. One of my guildies did make a killing. I think he got revered really fast. I think it was like 3 days or something ridiculous. So yeah, I think he was selling contracts for as much as like 40k or something ridiculous. But now they're down to like 2k for the Ancoin. Sometimes like 1.5k for the Ancoin, so I would say if you're doing inscription, take a look at the trinket market. War scrolls are really good, especially if you have any of the old herbs. And then the 370 etched vessels. Yeah, so go ahead and loot this and we'll take a look at page 3. So here's page 3. Sold more battle potions on this page. Intellect ones for around 330 it looks like. A couple of deck pounders at 10k and 14.3k. A couple of trinket sales at around that 7k mark. 7k for the swirling tides and 7.6k for the mystical bulwark. And then did sell quite a few enchants around 2.8k. They might have gotten reset or something, but bunch of ring enchants as well as the force multiplier at 2.8k and machinist at 2.2, which isn't too bad either. And then I did sell one of my spring shredders If you guys remember, I ended up picking 3 of those up at like 4k each. I did sell one, I think at 12k. Sold the second one at 15.6k. This would have been like last week. And then I do still have one up on the auction house, so pretty good investment. I wish there were more listed at 4k when we bought those, but sadly we only ended up getting 3 of those, but made some really nice gold off of that. Sold another deck pounder, 10.5k, and then quite a few trinkets as well. Wow, that's pretty low. 5.2k. 5.2k, 5.2k. Not sure what happened there, but I think I still doubled my gold, so not too worried. 387.5k to loot on this page, so we'll go ahead and loot this and take a look at page 4. So here's page 4. A lot of battle potion sales on this page. You can see I sold, looks like 10 stacks of the intellect for 6.6k each. Not too bad. Works out to around 330 gold per potion. And I think I got my crafting costs down to around 150 gold, so more than doubled my gold. Same with the Unbridled Fury. I think this is actually one of the potions that only takes Thieves and Anthids, so made some really nice profit with those. And then a lot more trinket sales on this page as well, at around 7.5k. Wow, ended up selling a stack of 5 for 3k. That's almost like 600 gold per potion. Pretty insane. More world scrolls. Etched vessel, 12.3k. Really nice sale. Satin belt, 3.1k, which is a little bit low, but still profitable. And then satin mittens for 14.2k. That's a really insane sale. And looks like the ring enchants on this page is around 2.5k. 2k for the haste. And then more battle potion sales on this page. Looks like these are 7.1k for a stack of 20. Whereas these were only 6.6k, so got a little bit more for these. Yeah. Doing pretty well with Alchemy. Especially if you can pick up the herbs for really cheap. And if you can get rank 3, either the flask or battle potions. Remember, the battle potions are random drop in Azure, so if you play your alchemist a lot in Azure, you should eventually get all 4 of the battle potion rank 3s unlocked. And then the flasks are tied to rep, so you do need Revered with the Ancoin, or I think Unshackled if you're Horde, so definitely good to work on that. Especially if an alchemist is an alt, like mine is. But we do have 316k to loot on this page. So that should put us at around looks like a little under 3.8 million, which is awesome. Gonna go ahead and loot this and we'll take a look at page 5. So here's page 5. Sold more stacks of 20 of the battle potions. Looks like for a little over 7k. We did also sell a couple at 5.6. Not sure what happened there. Seems pretty low, but I did still make a nice profit on these, so not too worried. Sold a couple of cutlasses, which is a one-hander made with Blacksmithing for 10.9k. Really solid sales. Trinkets for that 7.6k. Sold quite a few actually at 7.6, so Pretty happy about these sales. 2 pole arms, 14.3k for each of those. So nice. And then a deck pounder of the quick blade for 10.5k. And then another deck pounder at 14.3. Yeah, pretty much have like no competition on the blacksmithing two-handers for whatever reason. So I can just list them at like 15k and get sales. Did also do the same with the satin cloak. Not sure how one of these sold for 14.2k, but pretty happy about that sale. I think the prices of the other satin cloaks are like between like 3 to 5k usually, so got a really nice sale on that one. And then I did also sell a shield, 14.2k for that one as well. Yeah. So these would have been sales from like 2 weeks ago. Since today's auctions are 14 days old, but man, some really sick prices on the 370 gear. And then I did also sell, wow, even more trinkets. 76.25. So this must have been a day where I sold a bunch and didn't have any competition. People undercutting me since everything sold for pretty much the same price. It's a 340 staff, sold one for 11.4k. Nice. Storm Steel Destroyer, 370. I did craft a bunch of those to level up my engineering. And yeah, I think I sold 2 or 3 of them already and made back the gold that I spent on the mats to level that, so quite happy. More trinket sales, 76.25 again. So yeah, it must have been a day where I didn't have any competition whatsoever. Because I sold like 15 trinkets at that 76.25. Pretty nice. And then more war scrolls as well. 7.1k for a stack of 20. So like 350 per war scroll, which is nice. And then 2 more deck pounder sales. Wow. 14.3 and 12.4 for the last ones on this page. So I'm going to go ahead and loot this and we'll take a look at page 6. There is 434k on this page, so it's going to put us over 4 mil. I think it should actually be 4.2 million. Is that right? Yeah, a little over 4.2 million. So here's page 6. We have around 430k to loot on this page. Another really nice page. Sold some trinkets at 7.6k. One centering at 9k. And then a bunch of 370 crafted goods. Spellblade at 6.9k. Deck pounder at 14.3. Looks like 2 polearms at 14.3 as well. And then 1 waistguard at 14.2. So really solid sales there. I did also sell one of the 340 staffs for 11.4k. Really happy about that sale actually. And then I did sell one of the 370 staffs for 10 times that amount. 118.8k. Remember that at rank 3, for the staffs anyways, you only need 10 of the green gems and 10 of the red gems. So if you're unable to sell the red gems and the green gems uncut, then this may be a good alternative. I do definitely recommend getting the rank 3 first before you craft it though. It's going to bring the crafting cost down significantly. But pretty solid profit on that, being able to sell one of the staffs for like 125. And I did sell a couple at 100, but actually already looted those sales since I did need to use that gold to pay for ore. Ring enchants. Looks like between 2k all the way up to 3k on this page. Trinket, 9.4k. Nice sale. Wow. War Scroll Fortitude, stack of 20 sold for 9.5k after the auction house cut. So they would have been listed for like 10k or 500 gold per War Scroll. Definitely worth crafting if you have a bunch of the Crimson Inks. Yeah, more sales. Not quite as good as 9.5k, but I got 8.5k for the Intellects. Sold the shield for 8.3k. Not too bad. Wow. 3.1k for the ring enchant. Pretty happy about that sale. Not sure what happened here. Force multiplier, 3.7k. Yeah, these would have been sales from, I guess, 16 days ago. A little over 2 weeks, so I guess prices were insane back then. And yeah, I guess I listed at my normal price for these 4 scrolls. Because I sold stacks of 10 at 47.50, which would have been like 5k before the auction house cut. And then stacks of 20 at 9,500, which would have been 10k before the auction house cut. Court of Haste, 3k. Nice sale there. Trinket, 9.5. Wow. Trinket, 14.1k. Definitely miss these prices. 13.9 for the Storms. 14.1 for the Sundering. Pretty juicy sales there. And then I did sell... It's interesting. 2 stacks of 10 are the War Scroll of Intellect. Sold for 4.7. And then also sold a stack of 20. 2 of those at 5.4k. So a difference of like 700 gold. And you're getting twice as many. Pretty interesting. But even at 5.4k for stack 20, they're pretty much pure profit at this point. For most scribes anyways. If you guys remember in 8.0, you were getting 3 different types of ink. Ultramarine ink, which was the blue. Crimson ink, which is the red. And then the Viridescent ink, which is the green. And a lot of people were just after the green ones. Getting those for the old trinkets, the Darkmoon decks, so I ended up with a bunch of the red pigment as well as the ultramarine pigment, and they've been sitting on a banker for months now, and I've been using most of the red ones to craft the war scrolls, blue ones for the contracts, for the Rust Bolt anyways. The Ancohen and the Unshackled use the new ink, but the Rust Bolt ones only use the blue ink from 8.0 milling, so been dumping those into those contracts. And then, yeah, as I said, like we were after the Viridescent ink, made our gold off of the Viridescent ink, turning those into Darkmoon decks, so the Ultramarine ink and the Crimson inks are pretty much paid for. So just crafting the War Scrolls for a little bit of extra gold. And I did sell quite a few. I didn't keep track of how many I sold, but sold quite a few stacks of 20, stacks of 10, as well as the stacks of 3 and stacks of 5 as well. I did loot already the stacks of singles, so that's why you don't see any of those on these pages. Anything under, I think it was like 1k or something, I just looted, since I didn't want to go through like 40 pages worth of like single auctions, so I'm gonna go ahead and loot this and we'll take a look at the last page. So here's the last page, page 7. There's 317k to loot on this page. And you guys can see I did save my mail from the purchase of the WoW tokens. I think I bought 25, paid a little over 130k for each of the WoW tokens, so spent, I don't remember the exact number, but it was between, I want to say like 3.3 million and 3.5 million. Remember that each of the WoW tokens you can convert into 1 month game time, or you can convert it into $15 of Battle.net balance, so 25 tokens should be $375, and I did use that to purchase the 2 bundles for Hearthstone, the pre-order bundles, and I do also plan on picking up a couple of the bundles for the loot crates. Remember the summer games ends on Monday, so if you haven't picked up your loot crates, definitely do that before that. And then, yeah, the new Hearthstone expansion is dropping on Tuesday, so really looking forward to opening up my packs. So, yeah, looks like we have 317k on this page, so that should put us a little bit under 5 million, and we started the day with a little over 2 million, so yeah, a lot of the 3 million that I spent on the WoW tokens I made back in the last 3 weeks just from random auction house stuff, which is pretty cool. I've actually been pretty inactive most of last month since I've been pretty busy. You guys have probably noticed that I haven't uploaded very many videos in the last 2 or 3 weeks. Yeah, just haven't had time to play WoW. I haven't had time to sit down and record my auction house stuff like this, so definitely not going to be as busy this month, so probably going to end up working on a couple of videos this weekend as well as this coming week. As far as sales on this page, really nice sales on the 370 crafted gear. Sold a shield for 8.5k, cutlass for 9.5. Really solid sales. It's pretty low, 1.3 for 5 of the battle shout war scrolls. And then these enchant prices are really low as well, considering the previous couple of pages had sales at like between 2 to 3k. Did sell, wow, trinkets for like 14k. That's insane. Do miss these prices. Sold 1 storms at 13.9, mystical bulwark at 14.1, and sundering at 14.2. Another sundering at 14.2. 2 more sundering at 12.8. Pretty sick prices. Sundering at 12.8, mystical bulwark 14.1, sundering 12.8, swirling tides 14.2. Really nice sales on the trinkets on this page. And then we did have another juicy sale on one of the 370 staffs. Got 118.8k for that one. Yeah, that like more than paid for all the ore that I bought to craft the staff and more, so really insane profit with Jewelcrafting. I think a lot of people focus on the prices of the other gems and think that Jewelcrafting isn't profitable, when in fact it's probably one of the easiest and most profitable professions right now, especially if you're on a good realm and there's demand for those red and green gems, if you sell them uncut, and then also if there's a demand for the 370 staffs. I'm doing both markets right now. I was focused on staffs to start out, since at rank 3 you only need 10 of each of the gems, but as I've been prospecting more and more ore, I have quite a bit more red gems and green gems, so I can do both markets, and that's been working out really well for me. I just need to hopefully have some people list more ore that I can prospect, and probably continue to make gold, just doing, as I said, crafting the staffs as well as selling the green and red gems uncut and stacks of 35. But yeah, gonna go ahead and loot this and probably pass out. It's 4:30 a.m. here. Didn't realize it was this late, but wanted to get this recorded and hopefully edit it tomorrow and have it up for you guys on probably on like Monday. I'm thinking on Monday I'll upload this video and then probably record Overwatch, just me opening crates, and then Tuesday I'll do Hearthstone packs. So that's my plan for the next like 3 or 4 days. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you made it all the way through, that's gonna be it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, a huge shout out to my supporters on Patreon. Hope you guys all have a great week, and I will see you all in the next video. Late.